Hey YouTube, it's been a while since my last upload. Sorry I've been busy with life and work. I was supposed to get this video out yesterday actually, but ended up having a massive headache. But that's enough ranting for now. Today I will just be talking about products I use to maintain my reef tank. And to avoid this video being some huge product review, I just included some macro shots of corals to keep you guys kinda interested. But alright, so going into the first product. Probably the most important thing is salt. So as of right now, I'm using Red Sea's blue bucket, not the pro version, just the regular one. Before I was using I think Reef crystals by Instant Ocean, but I did decide to shy away from it because one, the prices just weren't as good as they used to be back maybe like a few years ago, and two, whenever I mixed up the salt, it kind of took a while to clear up the water, and you'd kind of have to mix it overnight. But typically whenever I do water changes, I mix the salt maybe a few hours before and then just kind of add it to the tank. And Instant Ocean's salt kind of leaves behind this residue. I'm pretty sure a lot of people talked about it. But yeah, those were probably my two main reasons to switching over to Red Sea's blue bucket. And I would say after switching over to Red Sea's, I'm pretty impressed by how fast the water clears up after you mix it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the changes so far. And I will say, before you guys switch salts to, I don't know, from one brand to another, make sure that the parameters are kind of the same, because I know Red Sea's I think Pro Salt Bucket has an alkalinity of 13, which is pretty high. So just kind of watch out for those things to avoid spikes and upset corals. Alright, moving into dosing. As you guys can see here, I'm currently using Aquaforce's component 1, 2, and 3. So this is just basically a 3-part dosing with calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium. So I only started using Aquaforce's 1, 2, and 3 because the original tank owner that I bought this tank from just kind of threw it in as a freebie. And actually so far I haven't had any problems with this, and I actually kind of like it because it's really simple to use. So basically, you dose every single one of these elements at the same ratio. So 20 milliliters for each, let's just say. I think currently in my tank I'm doing 30 to 35. But essentially you dose them at the same ratio, and it keeps everything kind of the same essentially. I learned this the hard way because at first I was trying to bump up my alkalinity, so I was dosing a little bit more alk. But over time that stuff kind of adds up, so I ended up having a little bit of a lower calcium magnesium. But yeah, so far after making that fix and paying attention to the instructions, everything has been perfect ever since. Before using Aquaforce's component 1, 2, and 3, I used to use Alpha Reef back in my nano tank, and I do think that Alpha Reef is a great product for nanos, but in terms of a bigger tank, just I think this is more cost effective, and I have a little bit more control over which elements are being dosed more, and yeah, have the ability to adjust stuff. I will say that if I wasn't using Aquaforce's 3-part dosing, I'd probably try out Kalkwasser. I know a lot of people have had pretty good luck with Kalkwasser in boosting their pH, but I will say there's probably no room in my sump for a reactor, so maybe that would be something I will do in the future. Alright, so to talk about the other things I dose. So currently my tank is having low nutrients, so I am currently using Brightwell's Neo Nitro, which is for just nitrate. So right now I'm trying to dose that because after getting my ICP results back, I'm gonna probably post them here in a little bit. But essentially, there's some rule, or I'm not gonna say rule, but there's some perfect golden ratio for nitrate to phosphate that most people like. And whenever I looked at my ratio, my phosphate was just way higher than my nitrate, so that ratio was way off. So I'm gonna be trying to up that a little bit, and I haven't had any problems using it so far, and it does a pretty good job. I will say that I do have to dose a lot of it, so maybe I need something a little bit more concentrated. In terms of phosphate, I also do have lower phosphate, and I do believe it's from all the bubble algae sucking it all up. But so a few weeks back I won some like thing at our local Reef trade show, I guess I can say. So it's called Plus NP, is a product by Tropic Marin. So this is just for ultra low nutrient systems. It's just to boost your nitrate and phosphate a little bit up. And I can say that after using it, I can actually detect my phosphates now on the HANA checker for ultra low phosphates. So I've been using that product. So next I'm going to be going into my ICP results. So here are like kind of like the little summaries that they give. Most notably, for some reason, every single time I do one of these ICP tests, my salinity always comes in a little bit lower than I expected. So make sure you're calibrating those refractometers or whatever you're using to measure your salinity. And before I forget, I am using Fauna Marine's total ICP test. I think things came out to be around like 55 bucks after buying a postage because it doesn't include one. But from the time I sent in the test and got back results, I think the turnaround time was about a week and a half, so I was pretty happy with how fast things came back. So another problem I had on the ICP test was high aluminum. And I will say that I did an ICP test a few months ago and I had like way higher elevated levels of aluminum than this current test. And after doing some research online, I think one of the main factors was using the Marine Pure BioBlocks. They're kind of like these little cubes that help grow your bacterial population when you first like cycle a tank. So after removing that, things did seem to go down a little bit, and I think I have 1 or 2 left that I'll probably remove after this video. Alright, so the last main thing I use on my tank is Acro Power. It's basically just aminos for your corals, primarily targeted at, you know, I guess as the name suggests, acros and SPS. So I will say that I've had pretty good results using Acro Power, and before my Pikachu here browned out on me, it was actually showing some really nice coloration. And I can see that my goldenrod has also colored really nicely after using this product. So yeah, so far I haven't really had any problems using it. Nothing's really died on me, and I can definitely say that some of my other corals have also benefited from using Acro Power. I am still struggling to color up a lot of my acros, just because I've made a lot of changes to my reef tank. But one that have benefited from Acro Power, I would say, is this. I can't tell if it's an organ tort. I think it's an organ tort. As really got nice coloration and has grown a lot more after using this product. One thing to keep in mind though is that even though you are using all these products, you really shouldn't be giving all these brands, I guess, the credit for keeping your reef tank looking nice. At the end of the day, it is you doing all the work. So yeah, just remember, keep that in mind. Alright, so another thing I use is bulk resupply carbon. This is really like small, tiny, fine carbon. But I will say that even though I use carbon, I haven't been really good at replacing it like every 3 weeks. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of set it and forget. But whenever I do use carbon, that's the one I currently use. And as far as cleaning my power heads and all that stuff, I use bulk resupply citric acid. So I kind of just put maybe 2 gallons of RODI water and probably, I think it's like 2 cups of this stuff, and after a while let it sit for 30 minutes or so, and my power heads are pretty nice afterwards. And in terms of other equipment, I am running a skimmer only for like 6 hours of the night, so I'm not really running that one super heavily, just using it to maybe boost up my pH a little bit. But yeah, in terms of everything else, kind of keep it simple. Don't really do too much, primarily water changes and dosing a few things. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that it gave you guys kind of a clue on what it takes to maintain my mixed reef. I'm gonna call it mixed reef, you know, I barely have any softies in there. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.